You know, your voice, it's kind of like your professional ID card. Every single time you open your mouth, you're showing it to someone. The question is, does that ID say expert or something else? Well, today, we're going to make sure it always screams expert.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question for you. Think about the last time you had a great idea and you were presenting it. You knew your stuff, right? Backwards and forwards. But did you sound like you did? Did your voice have that same confidence? It's a huge deal because in the professional world, how people see you or, hear you can become the reality.
And really, that's the core of what we're talking about today. That voice of yours, it's your professional ID. You flash it every time you talk to a coworker, a boss, or a client. And here's the kicker. That ID communicates your confidence and credibility, like instantly, before they've even had a chance to really think about what you've said. Okay, so if we want to control what's written on that ID, we first have to know where we are, right? We have to understand the room. And that brings us to the three main communication contexts. Each one has its own vibe, its own set of unwritten rules that nobody ever really tells you about. I mean, just think about it on the simplest level. How do you talk to your best friend versus how you talk in a job interview? It's total night and day, right? One is super relaxed, informal, the other is structured, buttoned up, and you're thinking about every single word. Just getting that difference, that's step one to mastering this whole thing. And this table here, it lays it all out so clearly. Look at how audience and purpose basically run the whole show. When you're with friends, the whole point is just to connect, so of course you're casual. But at work, the purpose is to get things done, so the tone gets more formal, more structured. And using the wrong tone in the wrong place, like being way too chill in an interview, that can be a total disaster for your credibility. It's all connected. All right, so we get it. We need to adapt to the context. But how? How do we actually do that? Well, now we get into the fun stuff, the mechanics. This is the nitty-gritty, the nuts and bolts of what makes a voice sound powerful and believable.
And it all kicks off with this word, phonetics. I know, it sounds a little academic, maybe a bit scary, but trust me, it's super practical. All it is the study of speech sounds, and getting a handle on it is the secret to making sure the brilliant idea in your head is exactly what people hear.
So why should you even care about this? Well, because clear speech sets off this amazing domino effect. First, you sound more credible, more like you know what you're talking about. That makes you way more employable. And then, when you know you're being understood clearly, boom, your confidence just soars. It's a total win-win-win.
And the thing is, it all comes down to the basics. The absolute foundation of being understood is just making clear vowel sounds and sharp, crisp consonants. If those little building blocks are shaky, your whole message can just fall apart.
But it's not just about the individual sounds. This is where things get really cool. Think about the music of your voice, the way it goes up and down, the words you decide to punch a little harder. That stress and intonation, it can literally change the entire meaning of a sentence.
This is the perfect example. Just listen to the difference. First, I didn't say he stole the money. What does that mean? It means someone else said it. Okay, now listen to this version. I didn't say he stole the money. See, now it means he stole something, just not the money. Exactly the same words, but two totally different stories, all depending on where you put that little bit of emphasis. That's real power right there.
Okay, let's put all this theory into practice. Let's take what we've learned about context and sounds and drop it into a real-world situation. And I bet this is one you've probably found yourself in before.
So imagine this. You're in class. It's a debate, and you've got to argue your point. So, with everything we've just talked about, what's your main goal here? And what kind of tone are you going to use? Really think about who you're talking to and what you want to achieve.
Right. So your purpose is actually two things at once. You've got to inform everyone of the facts, but you also have to persuade them that you're right. So your tone? It needs to be assertive for sure, but also respectful. You can't just dismiss the other side. And since you're not just hanging out with your friends, your language needs to be more formal, and everything you say has to be backed up by evidence, not just, well, I think.
Okay, let's wrap this up and bring it all together. We've talked about the why, the what, and the how. So now, let's boil it all down into a super simple plan that you can literally start using in your very next conversation.
Here is your 3-step action plan. Super easy. 1. Always check your context. Just ask yourself, who am I talking to and what do I want to happen? 2. Focus on being clear. Really pay attention to making those sounds sharp and precise. And 3. Master your intonation. Be intentional about the words you emphasize to make sure you're sending the exact message you want to send.
Look, at the end of the day, every conversation you have is a new chance. Whether it's a casual team meeting or a big presentation, you're building that professional ID. So, the only real question is, how are you going to use your next opportunity?